Hobart man charged for selling drugs through the dark web. DNR says deer herd not harmed by severe weather. Sheboygan ranks high on 2 best places lists. These and other local stories are coming up on this edition of Community News Review.
This is Community News Review, a service of WSCS TV, news content provided by WHBL.
I'm Maddie Pfister, and this is Community News Review for Friday, April 5th, 2019. A Hobart man is facing prison time for allegedly selling several narcotics online through the dark web. 26-year-old Christopher Banya is charged with possession with the intent to distribute controlled substances, maintaining a residence for the purpose of drug distribution, unlawful importation of controlled substances into the United States, and money laundering. According to the indictment from February of 2016 to his arrest last month, Banya sold cocaine, crack, meth, and other controlled substances on the dark web marketplaces. The dark web is a part of the internet that is unreachable by traditional search engines and web browsers. If convicted on all charges, Banya faces up to 80 years in federal prison and more than $4 million in fines. A 23-year-old woman was found dead inside a Wisconsin Dells home Thursday afternoon, and a suspect is in custody. Wisconsin Dells Police Chief Jody Ward said police got a call around 4:37 p.m. on Thursday from Montgomery County Dispatch in Pennsylvania. The call led authorities to conduct a welfare check at a house within the city limits. When officers arrived, the body of a 23-year-old woman was found inside and no one else was there, according to Chief Ward. Police began looking for a person of interest, and a 31-year-old suspect returned to the house and was arrested. The incident is considered a domestic situation, and there is no risk to the general public. The names of the victim and suspect are not being released until relatives have been notified of the death. An autopsy is scheduled for Friday. The winter started mild and ended severely, but the majority of the Northwoods deer herd appears to have survived it. The DNR's Winter Severity Index is calculated by the number of days with snow depth to 18 inches when temperatures were below zero. Acting DNR Deer Program Specialist Jeff Pritzel says the season started out easy for the deer, but things changed. Everyone knows we had a very mild December and even January. On the good side, deer went into the winter in good condition. They really did not start to get affected until the very end of January. The period of the difficult winter was the month of February, and March was going to be a telltale sign. Unfortunately, things kind of broke. Pritzel says that the cold snaps in February helped raise the severity index, but after the deep snow in February, it has taken a while for the snow to recede to the point where it is not considered severe. The scale goes from 0 to 50 is mild, 50 to 80 is moderate, 80 to 100 is severe, and we are right around 80 for that general area. The high mark now is in Eagle River, and they came at 94. They had a few extra days of snow depth. And Pritzel says the severity index is a key factor in determining what the potential herd growth will be. A county like Villas or Oneida may have an average projected growth rate somewhere between the neighborhood of 30%. When the winter severity index gets higher, we shave that productivity down to maybe 20 or 15%. The fire crews battled a marsh fire Wednesday morning in Winnebago County. The fire was in the area of Highway MM in the town of Winchester and began around noon. Around 400 acres were reportedly burned, and officials say the cause of the blaze is still unknown. There were no injuries. Wisconsin teams may have been bounced from the NCAA tournament, but what the ball bounces on the weekend comes straight from the Badger State. Fans enjoying the Final Four in Minneapolis may want to pay close attention to the floor. The wood that made the floor for both of the men's and women's Final Four was made from trees that were grown in Kashina. Nels Hughes, marketing director of Menominee Tribal Enterprises, says their trees are in high demand. They want to know that the wood came from a sustainable forest, and not everyone can do that, but we can. Hughes says that the means everything from the tree is used, from the bark all the way down to the wood. He says even the sawdust is used. He adds that their trees have other advantages that are attractive to the basketball eye. We are from the right climate, and the wood is nice, hard maple. He says the forests are FFC certified, which is rare, and the trees are probably averaging 90 years of age, or even perhaps more. He says once they select the trees, a company in Michigan, Connor Sports, makes the floors, and we are supplying the wood, and they are putting it together and supplying the final floor. It takes 60,000 board feet to make the floor, which could be about 200 trees. Hughes says this weekend fans will have more to be excited about than just their bracket pools. Thinking about Northeast Wisconsin and thinking, holy cow, what a big stage to be on. And finally, Wisconsin is not a millennial magnet, but think again. At least one study says it could be. The study considered 325 metro areas across the country and used 4 data points: unemployment rate, migration flows, housing costs, and property crime. In its findings of best places for millennials to move in 2019, 7 of the top 25 cities are in Wisconsin, far more than any other state, and 3 are in the top 10. Oshkosh came at number 2, Sheboygan was number 5, and Wausau was number 10. Sheboygan was also recently named among the top 20 small business cities for business by the Chamber of Commerce. According to the methodology, Sheboygan scored comparatively well in 7 areas: regional price parities, job creation rates, per capita income, percentage of the young population with a bachelor's degree or above, the median earnings of 25-plus-year-olds with a bachelor's degree, unemployment rates, and total sales and figure numbers of firms. Over the past decade, the city of Sheboygan has worked hard on being a place where businesses can succeed, stated Sheboygan's Mayor Mike Vandersteen. A thriving community must have a thriving business scene and vice versa. Only we can make our community better by helping each other, and this mentality has been the secret to our success. When a business or entrepreneur wants to invest in Sheboygan, we are happy to partner with them. We are attentive to the needs of the local businesses community, stated Chad Pelchak, the city's Director of Planning and Development, and now the need is for additional employees. Deidre Martinez, Executive Director of Sheboygan County Chamber of Commerce, stated, "I am so proud that the community in which I personally live, work, and play is considered one of the top in the nation. Our small business community is innovative, collaborative, and truly believe the ideology that we are better together." Sheboygan tied for 18th place with Eau Claire, Wisconsin, out of 162 communities. Small cities were defined by communities with populations between 50,000 and 250,000. Full rankings can be found at chamberofcommerce.org. And that is our report for today. Join me again on Monday for more local news and information on Community News Review.
News content for this program provided by WHBL in cooperation with WSCS TV.